There we are. Awesome. Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda and Dr. Dave back here with you with Conversations with the Devas. Good morning, Dr. Dave. How you doing?
Good morning, doing fantastic. Thank you so much. Happy to be here like I usually am. So much fun to start Mondays in a week with you. How are you today?
I am doing great. Feeling awesome. The sun is shining. It's going to be a warm day. Woohoo!
Right? Yeah, is it supposed to be nice there too for you?
It is. It is. Yeah. We've got the rain over with for the long weekend. So, yes, it's an awesome day today. So, I am
Great.
shuffling up the cards here. And if you're watching this live, hop in and say hi and let us know where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you hashtag replay and let us know where you're watching from and let us know what you think of our show Conversations with the Devas. It's always nice to hear from everybody. Ooh, that one just flew out. We got Citronella for number 1.
Nice.
And we are going to be using Citronella soon to keep away those darn mosquitoes.
Oh, and it's not soon here. It's been like for the past couple of weeks already
Oh,
here.
really? Oh,
Oh yeah.
maybe I'm not out at night, so I don't see the mosquitoes.
Yeah, lots. But then again, being on the island, we got water all around, so it comes with the
True.
territory.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, I saw I think they're aphids that swarm by the water and they're just like, oh, I saw
Hmm.
that the other day. I was down at the beach with my daughter and granddaughter, and just a nice time to get out and sit at the beach.
Ah,
So number
fantastic.
2 we got is frankincense,
All
and
right.
one more. Let's see what the divas have to say today. The lilacs are blooming. Love the lilacs.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, I don't
Absolutely
need that
love.
many. I have a
Hmm.
lilac bush right outside my window here, so it's quite lovely. I think I'm just going to pull one from the top because, oh, there we go. All right. Cinnamon bark is number 3. Okay, so for number 1, these are things that we already have the resources of. So let's see what Citronella has to say today. Wake up, wake up. There is no time to lose. I'm Citronella, and I'm here to remind you that life is short. So make the most of it. Are you putting off something? Making excuses as why you're not moving forward? Well, my friend, this is not why you chose to be here. You have a spark within you wanting to burn brightly for all to see. What are you waiting for? What are you afraid of? Your life is a gift that you have been given. You are meant to live and dream large. You possess infinite potential. Embrace it. Well, that's a nice way to
Mm.
start the Monday. Infinite potential.
Yeehaw.
That is so
Wow.
cool. It's like
Love that.
we have that within us. And as we've all heard before, we only use a very small percentage of that brain of ours. The rest is just unlimited potential. It's all those things that we haven't even dreamed of that are possible for us if we just tap into that infinite potential and go, what if? Hmm, there's a
Mm.
question.
Mm. Stay
Hmm.
tuned. Might have some
But
tools for you.
yeah, exactly. And Dr. Dave and I will discuss after. We also have an awesome workshop coming up for those who want to set some goals and haven't had the chance to do that, or just don't know about going about doing it, or think it's maybe too hard, all those things. Well, we're here to tell you it's not. It's quite easy. And it's really nice to have that roadmap for what you're going to do,
Right.
because we spend
Yeah.
so much time If you go on holidays, you spend all this time figuring out the whole itinerary and where you're going, when you're leaving, where you're staying, what you're seeing. Meanwhile, your life, it's like, well, I don't want that. You don't want that. It's like, well, that's not going to get you anywhere. So
Right.
Citronella is here to say, hey, stop wasting time.
Hmm.
Get your, maybe sit in a chair and figure out your goals, figure out what you want to do with your life. What have you dreamed of? What did you dream of doing when you were little? And do those things still apply? Now, when I was little, I think I mentioned this before, I wanted to be a librarian.
You're right.
I'm my own librarian, and these books are real. I can actually take them off the shelf. So,
Right.
I have a big library. And so in a way, I don't use the Dewey Decimal System, mind you, but I know where everything is. Just ask my friends when I moved in here, I had piles. It was like a city of books. There was piles,
Nice.
living room, down the hall, because they have to be sorted, so it's very
Mm.
important. So yes, in fact, I am a librarian of sorts.
Hmm.
And I also wanted to be a lab technician, and I work with essential oils. So I do blends. So those things, it's not exactly the same, but it is similar, creating and trying new things and seeing how they work and how your body reacts to that. So what things did you dream of when you were little? What are you still interested in that is relevant now that you can move towards, to learn, to do, or to share with the world? Because we all have these wonderful gifts, and we're here to share with the world and be of service to others. So what have you got to say, Dr. Dave?
That's awesome. It's so appropriate because citronella, that oil, most folks know that, and there's usually people have feelings and emotions and memories attached to just the smell of it, and it's usually about some memories that they got to have at you know um, outdoor events, family events, or campfires, that kind of thing, which is awesome. The other part of, I think that with citronella, in those memories that do pop up for you, what was the thing that made you happy and made it a memorable event? Um, when you actually smell that or think about that citronella smell, it's usually something that is really, it just feels good. It's a nice, um, comforting feeling almost. But at the same time, the reason that citronella is showing up is to give that invitation for us to wake back up into that innocence, to be in that fresh place. And most folks, I would think, believe that citronella is a fresh scent. Um, Authentic ones, I should say. Let's say that. So an actual real oil, as opposed to the synthetic ones that are made. The other portion of that on the emotional causation when it comes to citronella, why that metaphysically might be showing up for us, is to remind us to take a look at what is bugging us in our environment. And so we elevate what we know that the oil does physically. So we know that it helps eliminate some of it's a repellent. So emotionally, what is bugging us in our life, in our environment? What are those things? If we were to breathe in a new, fresh breath into our environment, what will that allow us to do in that moment and be able to see it differently as opposed to being in that frustrated place? So, if we breathe a new volume of oxygen, if you will, into that space, what will it allow you to then see, feel, experience different in exactly the same position? So, looking at how and where we're actually breathing into it, why is it bugging us? What can I do to change that? And what's there for me that I missed because I was being bugged by this frustration, if you will. Because that's where the really fun part is that that's where we uncover the treasure that's in every single moment. And that stops when we forget to breathe into it. And so that fresh, clean breath into it is to me what Citronella invites us to do and remember. We already have those resources. That's the position that the card came up in. So it's we can already do that. You don't need to get anything different. You have to breathe if you want to still be here. So you don't have to acquire the skill of breathing. You already got it. Now we just have to do it and remember to be able to do that and breathe it back into our space, into your body, and then getting connected back into that present moment.
Awesome.
Yay.
And those emotions are so important as well when we are goal setting, because so many people, it's like, well, what do you want? Well, I don't want that. Just like I said before. Well, yeah, everybody knows what they don't want. And that's probably what's bugging you. Well, I don't want that to happen again. Well, guess what? You keep on thinking about it, and guess what's going to happen? It's going to happen again.
Right.
So using that emotion to go, you know what? I'm making a decision instead of determining what I don't want. Well, this is what I'm choosing to have or to do. And then switching that emotion to get all that uncomfortable crap gone and release it so that you know what you do want, because the universe is making that uncomfortable for a reason. So stop thinking about what you don't want. Think about what you do want. And then the emotions that you're having of those good feelings of excitement and joy and sitting around a campfire and doing all these wonderful things, bringing those into your goals and thinking of how that's going to feel is going to bring it to you faster. It's going to connect and it's going to magnetize to you so that you can do it. So really, really important. So thank you for that, Dr. Dave. So the second one is frankincense. And these are things that, we need to let go of, that fun term, let it go. So let's see. Breathe in, clear, crisp focus. Breathe out, heavy, clogged energy. I am frankincense, and I can help you clear out the gunk and heaviness in your life, creating a light, clear aura of focus and lightheartedness. As you breathe in my essence, think about the areas of your life that may be stuck or stagnant. Choose to let go of these today. By releasing and letting go, you eliminate the shackles that bind you, allowing you to step forward and continue on your journey. So, right in line with Citronella, you've got those emotions of, well, I don't want this and I don't want that. Okay, let go. Let it go. And determine what you do want. Focus on it. Bring in that clear focus on what you're intending to do or intending that you, a way of life that you choose, and then put your actions into that and let go of the uncomfortableness, let go of what's not working anymore. Stop banging your head against the wall, trying to, we all know what the definition of insanity is. Keep doing the same thing and hoping something else happens, well, it's not going to happen. So take a step back. It's always good to take a step back, take a look around. What's going on? Am I doing this because it's what you've always done and it feels comfortable? Well, is it working for you? If not, then time to let it go and determine what is going to work for you. Maybe you need to take some time with that. And it's not like, all right, I'm going to sit down. Okay, what are my goals? Write them all down. Okay, I'm done. It's not that simple. Take some time. This is your life we're talking about. You are co-creating with the universe on what you are here to do, what your soul's purpose is. So this isn't just like a 5-minute, oh, here's my goals, this is what I'm going to do, blah, blah. No, you need to sit down and really focus on, okay, you've gotten this far. Is it working? Is it not? Do an assessment. Take a look. Really take a deep look at what's going on in your life. Are you uncomfortable? Because if you are, that means that something's probably needing to change. And only you can do that. Nobody else can do it for you. And when you start to look at things, then things start to really come into focus. It's just like binoculars, you're trying to look at something, but you need to focus in on something. You can't just be swinging those things around hoping to see clearly. You need to focus on one thing, focus in on it, and then you can see clearly. And it's just like all the goals in your life. What have you got, Tad, Dr. Dave?
Awesome. Awesome. That everything you said, yes. So, to add to that, one of the really fun sayings that we have working with a company of oils that I work with is we know that frankincense is such a high, powerful vibratory pattern. So it is the king of oils. And so we know that pretty much everything can be addressed, whether from a physical aspect or emotional, spiritual, that there's a component in there that we can actually benefit from when we apply frankincense and bring it, um, to the healing scene, if you will. That was just super weird and random, but right. So we always tell everybody, when in doubt, use Frank. And so, when people are like, which one do I use for this? What do I use for that? Make it real simple. If you got frankincense, just do that because there's so much in it. And the reason, so I'm not sure if many folks know how frankincense is harvested. It's what happens is the Botswana tree, they score it. And when meaning that they score it, they use it like a machete and cut lines into it. When that happens, the tree then creates a sap and it seals the wound of the tree. And the resin that is comes from that it seals up the wound, that's actually the frankincense. So we extract that from the tree, the part that it did the healing. That's what we actually use, and that's the resin that we get for being able to then distill down to the frankincense oil. Um, so in that, just think about that process because it's the metaphor of how and why that oil works and why it's so impactful. It is, it has its own healing ability. It has its own way of righting the ship. It has its own way of giving exactly what it needs to progress, heal, and get better. And so that's why that oil is tapping deep into our, okay, so that's a horrible pun, but into our roots of getting in, knowing that we absolutely do have all the tools that we need. There's nothing outside of us that we need. It's already there. So frankincense is always that reminder of, all right, just go in deep. You've got it all. There's nothing else that you need to have because you have the power of the universe within you. It is your DNA. And so remembering just that, there's nothing outside of you because you are that bright light. You are that amazing being that is connected to all of creation. And so frankincense invites us to remember that again and again and again. And so when we bring in that oil, that vibration, it's that just coming back home. It should always give us a sense of coming home. Is kind of what that reminds me of is that, oh, yeah. And you just set in, just set in and it calms everything. But the reason that it's calming is because you're actually sitting back in the driving seat of your own bus. So, I love frankincense. I'm not a fan of the smell necessarily. I've gotten okay with it better, but you know, um, now I still use it daily because it's amazing.
It is a
Okay.
wonderful smell.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. And number 3, we have cinnamon bark. And that is how all this is going to manifest out. So let's take a look. Looking for a bit of oomph. I'm cinnamon bark and I am spicy. I am solid, versatile, and can add that spark back into your life. Are you wondering what you're doing here? Are you looking for a sense of direction? I'm here to help. We are all multidimensional beings who have many gifts and talents to share with the world. When we live small, we negate these gifts bestowed on us, and our soul begins to wither away. This is your wake-up call to take stock of your life. Did I not just say that? What works, what doesn't, and make some changes. Bring my oil along for the ride, and I can help you see those hidden gems within yourself that want to shine brightly and be shared with the world. Well, this is a nice, tightly wrapped package here. So what cinnamon bark is doing is it's just wrapping everything up and saying, hey, come on now. You've got a whole life to live here. Let's get on with it. Spice up your life. Are you bored? Are you like, oh, I'm still doing the same thing? Okay, well, stop doing it. Do something different. Change up your routine. Step outside in nature. Do something different. Stop. Don't be the Dunkin' Donut man. I make donuts. Don't be that person. Do something different. Go, you know what? Instead of doing my usual thing, I'm going to do this instead, or I'm going to step outside, or whatever it is. Take a different route to work, or whatever floats your boat. But do something different and make those changes, because if not today, when? And what are you afraid of? Like the cards asked today, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid that you're going to be sitting in the same spot next year? Well, if you are, then today's the day to make the changes, because if you don't, next year, Dr. Dave and I are going to be doing this show on like our 200th season. And it'll be like, hey, have you got your goals done yet? And you'll be like, nope, I know what I don't want. And, you know, it's just not going to be good. So it's always good to make those changes, take the time and do something for yourself. Commit to yourself that you're going to take that assessment, take a look at what's going on, see where you can make changes, see what's not working, and then change it, because you are the only person that can do that. You can't, nobody's coming to save you. You are the person that can save you, nobody else. And you don't need anybody's permission. You just need to do it.
Right on. Right on. Absolutely. Cinnamon to me is one of those, it's igniter oil is to me, that's like the gas, like to go. So it's in when it says spice up your life, what I was loving is seeing this kind of wraparound connection from the beginning where it was breathed into the new life of the moment you're in, where cinnamon is, if you spice that up, because you're now able to allow yourself, give yourself permission to get into that innocence, that childlike innocence, and have fun. That's where the ignition is. So, for manifesting, bringing and attracting anything in our lives, if we do not have that ignition, that fun, that spark in it, it's not going to happen. It's always going to stay in the queue. It's always going to be in the loading phase. It never gets to actually be published, So that cinnamon is that spice that gives us that grounding so that it is able to, for us to get the traction that we need to be able to continue that movement forward. And so, yes, take that clear breath in so that you can get clear on where you're at, but then the cinnamon is asking us, all right, we got this, let's move, hit the gas. Uh, if you don't have that ignition, and it's a pure ignition, a jump off point, if it's out of fear, you're not going to get the result that you're looking for. You're just going to have more reason to have more fear. So having the excitement about what you got to do and be and experience in the wonderful childlike fun that you're creating in your life. And if that none of those things, if all of that is foreign that we're talking about, like what really? It's not supposed to happen. If that's foreign, well then you might have an idea then of why nothing's happening the way that you're wanting it to. Because you haven't tapped back into that innocence and having the fun in it. Get back to that fun. That's where cinnamon comes in, is the feel it, taste it. It's got some heat to it. It's supposed to really wake up the senses. And so we know it's super powerful in its healing properties, but it is that propeller really to make things move forward. So if you are a person that's not a fan of cinnamon, this just in, apparently somebody that's going to be listening needs to hear this. If you're not a fan of cinnamon, then the real question is what is the fear or what's the resistance of you actually doing something to move forward?
Mm.
Yikes. That hit somebody between the eyes.
Yep. And that's a good
Oh,
question for everyone to ask when you're
yes.
doing that assessment on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what's the worst? And I just don't. I wouldn't recommend spending very much time there, but it is good to kind of look because most of the time we'll be able to find out that, well, then I tried, or I made movement, so kudos to me. It's not what exactly I thought. Okay, great. Then next, continue that forward movement. You still have all the tools. Take another clear breath and then move through it. That's all I got. Yay. Done.
Awesome. It's almost like lighting a fire under you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It's like, come
absolutely.
on, it's gonna get hot
It's
here
spark.
really quickly. So you want to move.
Yes.
Because putting that emotion and creating those goals is one thing, writing them down, feeling them, but you still need to take the action. You need to take the steps towards it. It's not just going to fall into your lap because you're like, okay, I'm waiting. Like, okay, you need to do something. So
Right.
breathe in that cinnamon, light that fire under your behind, and get moving. And you are going to see results so much quicker. And that childlike innocence is huge. The joy of just being able, I get to do this today,
Yeah.
or I get to
Yes.
do this, or I'm going to create my life this way. It's exciting. And when you get that excitement, then things start to happen. So very, very cool.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. It is always fun. So we are going to close off today our conversations with the Devas, and we are going to be right back with our what if and positive possibilities for the day, which always is a fun time because it connects so well with what the Devas are saying.
Always.
The universe is always like, yep, here's your sign. We just gave you the outline, and then we're hammering it home with our what ifs. So that's what we're finding anyways. So thank you so much for watching this wherever you are in the world, and we hope you enjoy it, and we would love to hear your comments and feedback. We're always excited to hear what resonated with you and what you received from the messages today. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Dave, for being here today and just holding this space with me and doing this show. It's so much fun to spend Monday morning with you and just hang out
My
and
pleasure.
have some fun.
Always good. Always good. We have so much fun. And a shout out to the folks that we actually had folks typing in. So there was Ryan that was typing in on the chat and Miss Patricia in Wales. So thank you
Awesome.
all. So I
Hello,
love being able
Patricia.
to see
Thanks for
that.
tuning in. All the way over in
Absolutely.
Wales. That is so cool. And Ryan, and where's Ryan?
Algonac. He's in Algonac in Michigan.
Ooh, so he's a neighbor of yours then, somewhere out
Uh-huh.
there.
Across the water,
Very
actually.
cool.
Yeah, so thanks for everybody for joining us. And then the folks that are going to be joining us later on and the replays and you watch it, please make sure that you come back to the comments and let us know some of your thoughts, your aha moments. And um, I still even welcome you need to get that guy on in medicine. I'm totally good with that, but let us know. Stay tuned. So I hope everyone has a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day, everyone.